So this next thing to talk about then is what's so special about being a state anyway? Why would Utah put in all this work to keep asking the United States government, national government in Washington D.C. if they can become a state? Like why does it even matter? So, we're going to go through some differences between a territory, which is what they were before, and a state. Because a territory is like the little kid version of a state, and the state is like the adult. A territory is like, living with its mom, has to follow the rules of the national government. That's its mama. And then when it's finally a state, like, yeah, it's still in contact with mom and it still like talks to mom, but like now it can run its own stuff. So we're going to go through some differences. So for one, territories were kind of treated like not actual citizens. Like you're not actually really US. So we still have a territory in America today. Puerto Rico is a territory of America, the same way Utah used to be. And when people say like, "Oh, I'm Puerto Rican," you don't really think, "Oh, like yeah, they're an American citizen." Even though they have like some citizenship rights, it's not really full-fledged. Whereas when you become a state, you're viewed as like American. Territories aren't allowed to vote for president. So, some of you may know this, most of you probably don't, but it's not actually the people that vote for president. The people say who they want to their state, and then it's the states that vote for the president. So, like Utah gets 6 votes every 4 years for president, and so they ask the people, okay, who do you want us to spend these 6 votes on? And then they'll be like, well, most people in Utah say they want the Republican, so we're going to give our 6 votes to the Republican. And that's how votes for president work, is by state. But if you're a territory, you can't vote. You can't choose the president. And if you're a state, you can. You're allowed to actually have this input of who you want for president and how you want the country to go. And Utahns, especially the Mormons who had settled, they kind of want that say. They're like, we've had so much struggle with our government and not feeling protected and not feeling like we have a say that we want to be able to help choose the president and to have a say in how things should go. Similarly, territories have no say in Congress. So Congress is the body that writes the national laws for the government. And if you're a territory, you don't send anyone there. So every state gets to send people to Congress to help write the laws. So for example, in Utah, we have 2 senators and we have a couple of representatives, and they get to go and help write these laws. But territories can't. And so we have this issue of these Mormons coming to Utah and they feel like the law hasn't helped them out and we want to help write the national laws, but we're not really allowed to because we're just a territory. In territories, your national judges are appointed. So when there's a trial, when there are cases that need to come before courts, then your judges are all chosen by the national government. Whereas when you're a state, the states get to choose their own judges. And so Utah was looking forward to that benefit. In territories, the education is all set by the government, the national government. The US government says, this is how we want your education to go. Whereas states get to decide their own education. They can decide how they want to run education within the state. So, like, the reason that we're in a Utah studies course right now is because Utah decided that that's important to Utah's education. Territories, everything that they do is controlled by the national government. They're told how they have to live. They're told what they have to do, basically. And sometimes the national government just like doesn't care enough. They're like, do whatever. But if they want to take control, the national government can. They can be in charge. Whereas the state, sorry if my webcam is like covering the content, but states get to write their own laws, their own state constitutions. And Utah actually used that to be one of the very first states to let women vote. Territories don't have to pay national taxes. So that's a benefit, I guess, of being a territory. But you also get some losses because